A vitally important part of any Formula 1 track are the curbs that are at almost every single corner on a circuit. Now these are extremely useful for helping drivers know where the track limitations are, but they also cause some problems as well. So here at GPFans, let's dive into a quick special about the use and the importance of curbs on an F1 track. Give us a follow as well on GPFans Global on Twitter and Instagram and all of those good social networking places that you know and love to get all of your Formula 1 news. But let's dive into the special here at GPFans. In recent years, we have seen more and more that grass and gravel tracks are being replaced by runoff areas and strips of asphalt. This ensures that there are no major consequences if a driver goes too wide, but does mean that the stewards have to step in and perhaps cut times or give penalties if someone goes off the track limitations. This is where curbs come into effect. With their striking red and white colour, they can't really be missed. The kerbstones, you can find them on every single track. They are located next to the track to make it clear to a driver where the limits are, but they're also there for safety. Now, during a track walk prior to a race weekend, teams analyse the changes to the track compared to previous years. Drivers take to the circuits with their engineers and walk or cycle around. This way, they know where all the different curbs are and where the changes have taken place. Now, let's run through some of the different types of curbs and some of the impacts that they have. These are the curbs at the exit of a corner, fairly self-explanatory, where a driver is starting to put his foot to the floor again. These curbs are not flat but have ridges. This makes it slower to drive over it, and drivers will tend to try to avoid it. Another reason for these curbs is safety. If a driver goes wide at the exit of a corner, it means they immediately don't hit a wall or a tyre stack or perhaps run onto the grass, but instead they've got a little bit of overlap on the curb. This can prevent major crashes. This curb can be found at the apex of the turn, the point where the ideal racing line comes closest or perhaps even runs over the curb. Whether they ride over the inside of the corner has to do with the height and size of the curb itself. If the curb is high enough to cause damage to the car, drivers will tend to avoid it. In addition to these raised curbs, there are also curbs that lie flat on the ground. Drivers can drive over this to go faster through the bend. In addition to the two regular curbs, there are also these sausage curbs. They're the tall, yellow curbs in fast corners that prevent drivers from going too wide at high speeds. Over the last few years though, these curbs have caused quite a few questions and a little bit of discussion in and around the paddock, mainly because of the damage that they cause to cars and also the safety implications of them. For example, these curbs have already caused a number of major crashes on a few occasions in Formula 1 and in other racing series. Think back to Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen at Monza in 2021, where the sausage curb helped to ping the Red Bull driver's car on top of Hamilton's Mercedes. However, there have been some even more serious incidents over the last few years caused by sausage curbs. During the Grand Prix weekend in Monza 3 years ago, there was a major crash caused by a sausage curb. Alex Peroni went wide in the Parabolica during the second Formula 3 race of the weekend. This landed him on the sausage curb, which launched him into the air and he landed upside down on a tyre wall. Now fortunately, Peroni was able to walk away from the accident, but he was diagnosed in hospital with a fractured vertebrae. This put him on the sidelines for the rest of the season, although thankfully in 2020 he made his comeback in Formula 3. Another crash caused by a sausage curb also happened at Monza, but 2 years later. During the second race in the FRECA Championship, the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, the two Prema cars went off the circuit at the chicane in turns 4 and 5. Now the driver Vidales hit the sausage curb as he came back onto the track. This shot his car into the air and crashed straight into his teammate, causing a rather huge incident. So these sausage curbs can actually cause more damage than they solve potentially, which is why there is plenty of discussion around them in the Formula 1 paddock and beyond. Do you think that there should be more or fewer sausage curbs around F1 circuits? Let us know in the comments section below, and stick with us throughout the 2022 season by following us here at GPFans, hitting the subscribe button at the bottom of the page.